Hi everyone, Megan Dixon here, Director of Regional Development with RDA Orana. Before we begin the program today, just a reminder that RDA Orana is here to support economic and business development across the Orana region. We do this by staying in touch with industry needs and working with government to deliver projects that support a robust economy. Right now, one of the projects that we're working on is undertaking a gaps analysis around COVID-19 response mechanisms being issued by government. You can help us understand the gaps by completing our 15-minute business impact survey found on our website at rdaorana.org.au or on our Facebook page. It's pinned to the top. Now onto the program. For this episode of See Orana Conversations, I'm talking with Kyrsten Hedger, who is owner-operator of Short Street Store in Dubbo. It's one of my little favourite cafes to actually go to. So, Kyrsten, welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you, Megan?
Yeah, very good, thank you. So, can you share a little bit about yourself and your business?
I've been owner-operator here at Short Street for 5 and a bit years. Learned a lot in that time, but probably learned a lot more in the past couple of weeks than I did in the last 5 years. But yeah, just kind of turned this place into my own and just grown it from when I bought it.
What was your background before you bought the business?
I was working in pubs in Sydney, running them, like managing and stuff. So yeah, thought it was time to grow up. So moved back home.
Oh, so you're one of our famous returners, which is fabulous. So a little bit about Short Street, where you're located and how you were operating before COVID-19.
Okay, so we are in a little residential area. We're a little house near the showgrounds in Dubbo. If you don't know where we are, you're probably not going to stumble upon us. You have to kind of hear about us or be directed here, which is good because a lot of our customers are word of mouth or from reviews online. We're doing quite a lot of takeout, but we did have a fairly solid trade in terms of dine-in, so it's been very sad to see that change. But yeah, we've been able to adapt to takeaways quite quickly, which has been good.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that has always struck me about your store and the cafe and how successful it is that it's actually, like you said, not in an obvious location. So you've always had to work a little bit harder, perhaps, at being known and getting people to come to you. Would you think that's a good observation?
Definitely. Yeah, we're really... I really enforce to the staff that we really need to focus on our customer service because it's what people will talk about and it's what they'll come back for. And it seems to have worked so far, which has been great.
So obviously with COVID-19 and the restrictions that have been put in place by government, you've had to change the business up a little bit. What are you doing now?
Well, so the day it all happened, I had a bit of a meltdown, I think like everybody did. And then we just adapted everything. We've got a fridge that we usually have so that people can walk through the door and come up and look at. We've moved that into the front window, which is the perfect height, so that worked. We had little windows out the side of the shop, so we just chucked up a little shelf and just turned that into an area where people could come up without actually having to come into the store. We've opened the side gate so people don't actually use the front door anymore. You can walk into this place without touching a thing, which is great. We're quite lucky though we can adapt like that because owning the building as well helps with that. We got a big sign made up from Luke at Orana. He dropped that down the next day and I spoke to him about my concerns about making it easy for people to know about social distancing, and he came up with the idea for these little decals that we put all over the ground. There's different I think they're different animal footprints, so we just kind of direct people onto those, or it's just hits you in the face when you hear, you're reminded straight away you can't forget about the rules.
And you've changed your menu as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. Initially it was a bit worrying because we didn't know how long we could operate for. So we were just trying to get rid of all of the stock that we had there. And that took a little bit of time. But now we've actually just released our menu that we're going to run with going forward. We just try and update everything on Facebook and social media, let people know that there's specials, try and change it a bit. We've tried to do some breakfast packs that have been very popular on the weekend, that you could take home pancakes for 4 or 5 people and then you just put them together at home.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So I noticed you're also doing a collaboration with another store.
Yeah, I contacted Erin from Church Street. Somebody gave me this idea and I thought it was great, but I just didn't think I could do it on my own. And they had closed at the time. And I thought, maybe it'd be a good way to help another business and do something different. It's kind of like HelloFresh, but local, where we kind of choose stuff off our menus, or we choose something that we think people are going to like. Erin and I source everything locally. We package it. You can pick up your box from the shop, or we deliver it between a certain time. There's a recipe in there that you can follow. Otherwise, you can jump online and we do a video where we show people how to cook it together.
That's fantastic. Has the uptake on that been good?
Yeah, look, we've only just started it. I think it takes a while for people to trust stuff like this too, especially in towns like ours. Like, people don't really like to take a risk on things. So the more that we do and the more people talk about it, I think the more people will understand it. So I think it has a potential to do a lot.
Yeah, fabulous. So a little bit also, have you changed the times that you're serving customers around COVID-19?
A little bit. A lot of the decisions I made was to do with staffing and wages. Before any of the subsidies or anything came in, it was just a matter of being able to pay the people that I have. So I decided to cut the hours rather than put on extra people. So we're going from 6, sorry, I think they're making a lot of noise in the kitchen. So we're doing 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. because that's when the kitchen closes. And there wasn't much going on. A lot of people have their kids out of school, so that after school treat really isn't happening anymore. And then on the weekends, I've never had days off really. So we decided to take the Sunday and everybody gets an actual whole day off without worrying about the place.
Yeah, that's good. And are you doing, so you're not doing any evening trading, are you?
No. Like, the evening kind of portion is basically these at-home boxes that I'm doing with Erin, which is good. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't really know how to cook, and people are really struggling with options at the moment too. So we thought this way they could have restaurant quality food, but they could learn a bit about how it's made as well, because people have time. I think they're getting sick of getting frozen meals out of the fridge or eating the same thing. But yeah, I just didn't want to take over a nighttime kind of thing at the moment. I think what we're doing is enough for us without overextending ourselves.
And I love the philosophy of that you're actually sourcing locally in terms of what you're putting into your boxes as well, which is fantastic in terms of that shop local, live local, love local.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've all got to do at the moment, I think, to keep it all going.
So what's been your biggest challenge?
I don't know. I think the biggest thing was trying to get my head around how we were going to get this working, and without knowing how long it's going to go on for, really. Like, it could be 6 months, it could be longer, it could be shorter, it could be a lot of different things. So I think initially when we didn't know if the rules were going to change for us again, that was really hard. That was probably the hardest thing, was the unknown. But now we've kind of just settled into a new kind of normal. We're starting to find our feet a bit more, which is good.
Yeah, that's fabulous. What's been a key takeaway for you from this pandemic?
Definitely community. I have had so much help from friends or even locals who come into my shop all the time. I needed a shelter put outside, an Orth building, knocked one up and surprised me by putting it out there one weekend. One of my friends came immediately and put up the shelf. Luke from Orana, like he straight away got onto doing those decor, so they were there straight away. It wasn't like we'll wait 3 or 4 days and jump on it. We jumped on it straight away, and I could only do that with the help of the people around me. People lending me things or helping me with their time. Like there's just a very big, strong sense of community. So even though we're all kind of isolated and separate from each other, we're all doing these other types of little things to impact each other's lives, which is beautiful.
Yeah, I think what you've described is what I actually love about living in regional Australia, because it's one thing that we do know how to do really well, and that's that, be a community and support each other.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen so much of it here, and I am so grateful.
So what's something great that you've heard happening locally as a response to COVID-19?
I like the people that have managed to adapt and come up with different ideas outside of the box to keep their businesses going or to offer something different in the community. I think it is a really big time for innovation at the moment, and we're seeing a lot of that with how businesses are changing things to work better for themselves and their customers.
Is there a standout to you, something that, that you've really noted and thought, oh, that was clever?
Look, I like to have a cocktail of a night time, so I've really appreciated what the establishment's doing. I haven't really gone out that much, to be honest, because I've been working a lot.
Yeah, which is fabulous.
Yeah, I'm fortunate I can still work.
Yeah. So one of the things that we were talking about is that we've maybe seen less adaptation out in our rural communities. Would you have a tip for a business that's operating like yours out in one of the rural communities?
I think people are crazy to not even try anything. Like you might try something and it might not work, but you could try and it could work. If it is something to do with deliveries, or you see an idea that somebody else is doing and you think you can adapt it. Like Erin and I have potentially talked about being able to drop off these boxes to a pickup location in like Gilgandra or Narromine or Wellington, somewhere where people can pick them up, because they can get this food, take it home. They still have access to the internet. They could still get on and watch us cook it or still connect with people. But there's no reason why that other places can't be trying these things too.
Yeah,
to see an idea and adapt it yourself. Like I don't think we're really all competition anymore. I think we're kind of all in this together.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Thank you very much, Kyrsten. Now, before we finish, I've got a fast 5 for you.
Okay.
How many toilet rolls do you have at home?
I think about 8. We just try and get them when we can, which is very difficult.
Yeah.
Even for me at the shop, I can't buy the boxes. It's ridiculous.
Is there anything that you're hoarding?
No, I hate hoarding. It's too much.
Yeah. What are you missing the most?
I miss going out and seeing my friends or going out for food. I eat out a lot. I'm a very social person.
Yep, I understand that. I feel the same way. What's your favourite app for staying in touch?
Look, I mostly just use Facebook Messenger, or I have been using Zoom a bit lately too.
Fabulous. And when the restrictions lift, what's the first thing that you're going to do?
Pub for sure. Definitely.
I think if I was a pub owner, I'd be actually preparing for a massive wave.
It'd be a public holiday. I've had a lot of customers come in saying it should be a public holiday, Kyrsten. I'm like, well, it's not my call.
Yeah, but it's a great idea. Kyrsten, thank you so much for your time today. Really, really appreciate having this catch up with you, and congratulations on, I know you didn't like the term reinventing yourselves, but that's what you've done, and I think you're to be congratulated for doing that, and also for collaborating with Erin at Church Street Cafe, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.